You wanted another child,
I didn't.
Stephanie?
I didn't want another one. But when I had Jeff, I thought about how I had just finished raising Lauren and how lonely Lauren was.
I know.
And I was like, I'm going to do it again. I'm like, I'm going to do it to another kid where he's going to be an only child and he's going to be lonely. And not only that, but at least when I had Lauren, I was young.
Yes.
So I had energy. Yeah. And I was young. And now with Jeff, I'm old. I'm the opposite.
Well, now you're career driven, or not driven, but I mean, you have a really great career. You have a focus on that because you're in a position where you're in the time period where you're your highest earning potential.
Exactly.
And you can't sit back on that. I think the one thing I do know friends who have had only children, man, their kids were busy from sun up to sundown.
Yeah,
man.
we just got the
sports and activities and camps and all the things because it was their only way to socialize with kids their own age. Because when they get home, it's like, hello.
I know.
Hello. Even if you have a zoo of animals, they're animals. They're not people. They're not little friends.
It's true.
Or then your kid gets weird and they collect snakes or something.
Like Lauren?
Unusual. No. I mean,
she does.
I mean, wait a minute. I thought she was dumping those snakes at a reserve because it's Florida.
She says she's afraid to because what if they abuse them or they don't take care of them the way she does?
How many snakes does she have?
One. She only ever had one.
I'm talking about people that convert their basement into a reptilian
She
safari.
got the whole snake thing from her dad because when she was little, he'd buy her like a bearded dragon. She had an iguana, things he wanted.
Yes.
Here, Lauren, you want an iguana? Okay.
Sure. You know what? Daryl and I were talking about this actually where I said, there are certain things, and I went on a rant. It was with Mackenzie, and I said, there are creatures on this planet that should not be pets.
Oh no, plenty.
I mean,
lots of things shouldn't be pets.
I don't want to hear it, but I don't think there should be no reptiles should be pets, no spiders or scorpions or birds. I don't think birds should be pets. I hate that there are, and I know there are people who I've had him for 40 years. I get it.
Yeah, like SeaWorld's had whales for 40 years.
Yeah, they don't belong in there.
They
That's why
shouldn't
they
be there.
eat people. That's why they drown them.
Oh no.
I just don't think.
I can't stand it.
I actually really have a problem with people who have birds as pets because, and I know it's very common, but I think, there's a whole book called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. There's a reason they don't belong. I mean, and I realize that, we've probably bred them to only know
parakeets
cages
specifically can't live in, there is no wild parakeets.
Yes, there is, Stephanie.
There's a wild parakeet?
There are wild parakeets in New York. In Central Park. Is
that because the people have freed them and they've become wild?
No.
Oh.
All birds come from the wild.
I thought parakeets were like hybrid,
They are real. They are real. I've seen photos like, wild parakeets. And there's like 3 or 4 of them just chilling in Central Park.
Is there any around here?
I don't know.
I'll free mine.
No, I don't know. They're bigger. Oh. They're a little bit bigger because they're out in the wild.
Mine's so teeny, it's like this big.
It's like a finch.
It's teensy, yeah.
Maybe it's a runt.
No, I just think it's always lived in a cage. I got it at PetSmart or whatever.
And I know that there are people who have lizards and bearded dragons and all of the things, but those were once wild animals.
I don't believe in that at all. And Lauren and I have talked about that. She knows that I'm creeped out by the snake thing.
Yeah, I don't like snakes.
But I just think it's mean.
I think it's cruel.
I do too, and I've told her that, and she does now too.
Oh no!
But now she's like,
"What do I do?"
Yeah, she's like, "What do I do?" And she does. She cares. She loves animals so bad.
I know she does.
So she cares about it enough that she's concerned about what would happen to it if she took it somewhere else.
So now she has to
So now it's like a moral thing. Like it has to be somewhere like. It has to go somewhere amazing because I couldn't live with myself.
Well, I mean, do they have
sanctuaries and stuff?
They have to. It's
Specifically
Florida.
in Florida, they do, but I think that's part of the problem is that because so many people,
any old person,
they're overwhelmed with snakes, and they're like, it really has to meet certain criteria, and
people release them into the wild.
I told her to release it in the wild. She's like, Mom, no.
They have a real problem with that, though.
I know.
They end up getting 40, 50 feet long.
I know.
And they eat people.
Well, and they have legit.
And they go hunting. People go hunting.
They have legit, really poisonous snakes in Florida. Mm-hmm. Like we have rattlesnakes.
Yes.
And it's basically one breed of snake that can kill you here.
Yes.
In Florida, there's multiple kinds of snakes that are poisonous. So she's like, it will get eaten. She's like, it will get bit by somebody else, by another snake.
Because it's so small.
It's just not meant for, it's just couldn't live in the wild.
No, you can't. I mean, she could always kill it.
She's not you guys.
I would never kill a pet.
You have killed pets.
I have not.
Fish.
I've never killed. Oh, the one that had a tumor the size of a baseball on it?
Why didn't you just flush it down the toilet like a normal person?
It's cruel.
So putting chemicals in the water is less cruel?
I didn't put chemicals in the water. That didn't work. I froze it to death.
Okay, so you tortured it.
It didn't torture. I did copious amounts of research on how to humanely put a fish down.
So why is it cruel to flush it?
Because they don't die.
Where do they go?
Through the sewage system. They just float through the sewage system until eventually they die.
Well, then doesn't that seem better? At least they can, sink or swim in this world.
I mean, they're not going to end up in Australia with Nemo.
They might end up in the river.
I don't know. They end up in a facility.
Oh,
they end up in the facility and they probably get stuck in some kind of grate with all the shit and tampons.
Oh, God.
That's cruel. I couldn't do that to a poor. He's like, what's going on with my life? Can you imagine? Horrible.
I don't know what's worse.
How many dead betas they find in those grates along with the toilet paper.
People are repulsive anyway. Can you imagine the things that get flushed?
Stephanie, I can't. It makes me want to throw up.
Have you watched that show? It's called, we should do the show.
Oh, okay. Ready?
I'm sorry, because I'll be here forever.
Okay. Daryl goes, you need to fade out. I'm like, okay, fine. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. Is that better for you, Daryl?
Well, so does that song play before the show starts?
Yes. So welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode, sorry.
Oh, God, here we go.
Shut up. Episode 567 or 66. Hold on.
No one cares. No one cares.
They do care. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. I am Jamie. This is my sister, Stephanie.
She said, welcome to the Ugly Truth like 4 times.
Well, now you know. And Daryl will probably edit a bunch of those. He'll be like, God, could you have said it enough? Everyone
welcome to the Ugly Truth.
Just kidding. Stephanie, can you say it 4 times for us, please? 4 times fast?
I said it twice now.
Okay, so we were talking about animals before the show.
Yeah.
It is spring. Happy spring. Oh, and you know what today is? Producer Deb reminded me. It is sibling day. So happy.
Oh, I saw that.
Happy sibling day.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, I saw the cute guy at Dutch Brothers. God, why are they all so adorable there?
I don't know.
Not in a sexual way. They're just cute.
No, they're just cutie pies.
They're young and spry.
Full of life.
Yeah, and he's like, Sue, what are you doing today and everything? I'm like, going to my sister's. He's like, what are you going to do over there? I'm like, we have a podcast. He's like, you do? I was like,
that's so cute. Did you tell him?
He asked me, he's like, well, what's it about? And I was like, we're unfiltered sisters.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Like, we're really judgy and we talk about people and celebrities. And he started cracking up laughing. He's like, do you go on YouTube? I'm like, no, not yet. My sister says we're not ready.
We're on YouTube, just not camera. So you can listen to us on YouTube.
Well, I think he was like, hey, can I watch you on YouTube? And I'm like,
I wish. You can listen to us on YouTube, Mr. Cutie Pie, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a ton of stickers.
Oh, okay.
And you can just
so I can pass them out?
Yes, so that people can just have them. They're really great for hydro flasks.
Yeah.
But you can also put them on shit.
I need to put it on my hydro flask.
Do you have an official hydro?
From uglytruth.com?
No. I mean, we do have water bottles.
I have not, you mean like the name brand hydro?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
but my
so
union
good.
made some, and they were really expensive and they're really nice.
They might be equivalent to. Anyway, so happy Siblings Day to all the sibs out there. And if you don't have a sib, we'll be your sib today. So happy Siblings Day to all of you little baby sibs.
Sisters from another mistake.
I just assume that everyone who listens is younger than us.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, do you think, other than people who love to hate listen that are our age, I can't really.
Why would young people want to listen to us that we're old?
We're not that. Okay.
To them, we are.
We're Gen X, and Gen X is a fascinating group.
Well, you know, the thing about younger people is they're so less judgy than we are.
Yeah.
And like they accept everybody and anybody and they're just, hey, they're just people.
And you know why? Because we raised them.
I guess.
We raised them.
The little girl that sits next to me at work, she's new and she's so cute. And
how old is she?
I asked her finally because I kept telling my bestie
22.
at work. She's 25.
Oh, so she's starting to get, I need to get married. Her wedding Pinterest board is getting,
she just broke up with her high school sweetheart. They have a 4-year-old. They're learning how to co-parent. And
oh boy.
She's happy she didn't get married. And
well, bullet dodged.
Yeah, same, right?
Seriously.
But anyway, so she was telling me her little story, and I'm like, oh, I remember.
Like I remember when I was co-parenting for the first time.
Yeah. So, and I was like, after I left for work that night, I'm like, God, she must. It's like thinking of me as like a mother figure or something. I'm like,
no, you're like a big sister.
100 years old.
Well, she could be your daughter, but she also she could be your baby sister.
I guess
is the way I would look at it. So
anyway, yeah.
Don't walk around going, I could be your mother.
I didn't. I wouldn't.
We're no one else's mother but our own spawn.
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, nobody gets that twisted.
The one thing that I do hate that I hear is I and even my kids use it. I hate the word crotch goblins. I hate it when people call their children that. I have
never heard it.
Oh yeah, I've heard
There's
it.
all kinds of funny wisecracks.
Oh yes, spit out a bunch of crotch goblins. No thanks. And I'm like, crotch goblin. I'm like, wow, that is so. You think cunt is bad, and you call your kids crotch goblins? Like, come on.
No,
I'd rather call them something else.
It's like people are desperate to think of something creative that they think is like witty and
cool.
Yeah, that's TikTok.
Oh yeah.
After a while on TikTok, I'm like, this is what people do. They're like, let me think of something to say that no one else has said.
Everybody has said it. Trust. I've seen it.
Or they're trying to make it trendy.
I freaking love watching.
Have you seen the Sprite? The
yes.
Sprite challenge.
Try to drink a whole Sprite without burping.
Well, I watched two best friends do it, and it was pretty damn funny.
Well, they are funny when you find a good challenge.
Well, because the one girl, she couldn't do it. She immediately started burping.
Yeah.
And so her friend was laughing. She's like, why can't I burp? Oh my God. She's like, what's wrong with me? And so she kept drinking. She was getting down towards the end and she started tooting.
Oh God.
She's like, it's coming out the other end.
It wasn't supposed to be this way.
The other friend was just like on the floor laughing. It was so funny.
That's excellent.
I could not stop laughing. It was hilarious.
God. Have you gotten my TikToks?
I did. And they are funny.
Respond. You have to
Some of them are funny and some of them like, But
okay,
you know
first of all, I'm sending them to you so you get a different algorithm, not because I want you. You need to get off white Mormon TikTok.
I did. I've changed it.
Good.
I realized what I was doing wrong, and so I started
keep looking at these pretty white girls who are stuck in their homes in Utah.
I stopped doing that because I couldn't watch it anymore. I'm like, I was
They're
like,
so nauseatingly difficult.
I couldn't.
Yeah, it's really hard. But I changed my algorithm.
Part 4 of how I left my abuser.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, did I tell you that I was on Grief? Well, we talked about how I was on Grief Talk for a while, right?
I did it too.
And then I ended up on Funeral Talk.
Oh, God.
I was watching all these funerals. It's like, and I'm like, stop. I don't want to watch this anymore. There goes my world. Okay. Safe home. Safe home.
Yeah, I ended up watching.
Rest in peace.
The last week of my baby's life. They made it to 12 weeks.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It was. They're holding them on the last day as they're taking their last breath. Well, I find it. I'm like, who is filming this?
Is it the father? Like who?
Yeah, no, it's not actually because both parents are in the video, and I'm like,
I can't.
Why would you want to? I guess.
I can see wanting to film to have it, to see their little face and all that stuff.
Remember,
but why post it public? That's the thing. It's like, why would you post it on TikTok? Like, what is that?
Dang it.
Are those? There you go.
No, I did it.
Oh.
And then I'm like, now it's too big.
Headphones. Anyway, yes. So speaking of children, it's spring, and every spring since we've lived in this house, a hawk, because we have these super tall oak trees, and so a hawk comes back every year and has its baby.
Oh, cool.
So every year we see this baby hawk. Note, if you don't know this, red-tailed hawks in California, where we are from, are very loud when they're little, when they're children, and they're tiny.
Didn't know.
So they're like,
oh.
And I'm like, what the hell?
That's cute.
It's not cute at 4 a.m. when it's learning how to fly. And it circles our house.
Has Bodega ever gotten one?
No, he has cornered a baby owl before.
I knew that.
But they don't.
But I just wondered if maybe if a baby hawk had ever fallen out of its nest.
No. They're juniors. They're toddlers for sure. But they're learning how to hunt. And so the positive thing is any vermin that are wandering around are gone. We have no issue with vermin when the hawk is around because
they eat everything.
Well, not to mention the mama's around too.
Right. Well, they're the ones that catch the food, bring it back to the nest, and they teach them how to eat first.
Yes. And then they teach it how to hunt and so this thing.
Do they eat chickens?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what started it. We were looking at the chickens outside.
They'll eat anything.
I mean, the chickens around here are kind of big.
A red-tailed hawk is big.
I've seen them. They fly around my house too.
Yes.
Because we have the same kind of trees.
But what's hilarious is every morning I wake up, I'm like, oh, that fucking hawk is still here learning. Like, how long?
So once they learn, do they go away?
They fly away. And the mama probably stays, but the baby takes off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is it still here?
It's like Wild Kingdom over here.
Was it a preemie? Like, it's been a month. Why is this thing still here?
Maybe.
But it does stay, if I recall. This one's just very vocal.
Oh.
Must be a girl.
Right? I was about to say.
And it's just and I'm like, you're never going to catch anything if you keep screaming every time you fly.
I'm sure that's why it's still there, because the mother's like, you haven't figured it out yet, have you?
You really need to stop with the screaming. And I'm like, we've never had a hawk this vocal all day. And he's like, yesterday we were outside, he goes, oh, there's mom and baby. And I'm like, God damn it, really? He's still teaching
Where
that
can
thing
you
how to
see it
fly.
from? You got to show me before I leave.
Yeah, well, we were in our backyard and we just looked up. I mean, it literally flies over our house.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
so
low.
you can't see the nest. You just see it.
No, you can't see the nest. But I mean, it's so thick and, there's so many trees.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, wow, it's like, talk about animal kingdom about,
Yeah, that's awesome, though. I know you don't like the screaming part.
Well,
but
it was cute at first, but it's been ongoing.
Right.
And it's like having a screaming toddler. You're like, when is this thing going to learn how to speak?
Never.
When will it start using words?
That takes forever.
So that we can just, it can articulate that it's uncomfortable instead of screaming. You know how babies are.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. So there you go. And speaking of, Natalie's coming to visit and she's pregnant again. We're so excited.
I know.
The only frustration is she's not telling us. She's not going to find out if it's a boy or a girl.
She did that last time, didn't she?
It was her first and she wanted it to be a surprise. Totally get it. And
Now
this time she's like, no, we're going to keep it a surprise again. I go, yeah, but what if it's a girl? I'm not buying any more gray items for you.
Oh, I know. Gray, yellow, and green.
No.
Neutrals.
I'm like, totally get it. And you know what? It's old school and I totally appreciate it.
What? To find out?
To wait as a surprise, because life is full of so few surprises anymore.
That's true.
But
that's one thing but that's because I'm old. That is one thing I would not want to be surprised at.
Well,
because
Mackenzie,
you can prepare. There's so much to do when you're having a baby.
It is. Luckily, it's fairly soon after, so she still has a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So she just needs refreshed,
Yeah, well,
restock.
I mean, yeah.
Mostly, and a double stroller, of course. But I mean, it's
Lord.
I just told her, I said, look, I'm not buying you any more gray. Okay. And she goes, fair. I said, all right, fine. I will expedite a shit ton of pink if you
Amazon's
want.
2 days.
Same day if you need it bad.
Exactly. And you can even do like Macy's and all the other places in like 2 days if you want.
Absolutely. She's hoping for a girl.
Is she?
Hardcore.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And I'm like, well, me too. It's fun. It'd be cool to say you have a boy and a girl and then be done.
Yeah. I think that's the perfect combo.
I believe that's the goal. So anyway, I'm excited. She's coming to visit. So that little baby, he's cute.
Oh, he's adorable.
Oh my God. And it was funny. We were talking about that. It's like, you remember when we had all little ones and our parents were like, come and see us. We're like, we have 4 children under the age of 10 and you want us to pack up, go to your completely not kid friendly home for a week? No. Please don't do that to your children. God, it's like, no, come to us. Get a hotel.
I told you, I've been saying the same thing. I've already got my plan to go see Lauren, and
yeah,
the biggest quandary I have is like the nicest hotel's like a 3-star, and I'm like, I'll do it because I love you.
I just want you to know I'm slumming it because of you.
It's a Fairfield Inn Suites. My God,
that's so true. Okay, so and also speaking of animals, this is the year that we're taking all of our senior pets to the vet. So we took Angelica Pickles, which is our oldest pet. She'll be 16 in a couple months.
Oh my goodness!
And so I took her to the vet. She's lost some weight. We were worried, so that's why.
I remember you telling me. Yes.
I took her, and they're like, "Okay, well, it'll be $400." I'm like, "I understand."
What'd they do?
Full blood panel, everything, and I'm like, "That's fine." Because if she's dying of cancer or something, I want to know.
She's not.
So Daryl's like, she's gonna outlive us all, and I go, no. Let's just see, because she's lost like a lot of weight, and I'm worried because that's usually kidney failure or cancer with cats, and they don't act sick until the day they die. And so,
or the day before.
Right. And so I get the call. Hi, this is Dr. So-and-so. I got all the results for Angelica. By the way, we love her. She's so fun and friendly and sweet. And she let us do whatever we want. She didn't cry or bite. And I'm like, I know, she's such a little lady. And they're like, she is a little lady. Little Siamese kitty. And so I said, so what's going on? She goes, well, she's incredibly healthy. She does have some kidney function, but she's also 16. That's normal. That's why it's normal. So just change her food.
Oh, okay.
And we'll see you in 3 months. And I went, for what? She goes, well, just to make sure she's not an active kidney failure. And I'm like, she said all cats are born in stage 1 kidney disease.
Yeah.
She's stage 2.
Well, I mean, that was my cat Socks who died at 15.
Yeah.
He had stage 1 or 2 when he was 14, and the doctor was like, I mean, it's just what it is. That's what happens when they're old.
Yeah.
And he lasted like another 18 months.
So anyway,
it broke my heart still.
It's going to break my heart. I mean, look at her. She's a presh.
Yeah.
So next is Sunny Boy, who is 14 this year, almost 15.
I'm going to drop a G on all these guys.
But you know what? This is the part where it gets hard because you're like, senior animals are expensive.
I know.
They're expensive.
I've had many.
But I would hate for my big thing. I always tell them, look, I don't care what's wrong. If I have to have a family discussion about it, fine. But I just want to make sure they're not in pain. My number one thing is the suffering. I don't care about anything else.
You can tell. I've seen it.
Yes,
you can
but
tell.
they're just old. And I'm like, all right, fine. Sleep the day away. Sonny sleeps all day
Sonny
long.
was hilarious. He was like on his back, all 4 sticks in the air. Yeah. His head was cranked. His eyes were closed. I mean, he was just sound asleep in the sun. It was the cutest thing ever.
He's totally fine. He gets a little weird at night, but that's normal apparently. But I mean, so now I'm like, okay, you're right. So this year I'm like, okay, so we have to space out these checkups.
I know, right? Yeah, that's
so
a
pricey.
lot of money. Yeah, I took Kevin because he was whimpering when he was scratching his ear. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I took him and he had a little ear infection.
Damn it.
And he's been biting and he has no fleas. I mean, he's on NexGard. So then they're like, no, he has really bad allergies.
Oh God, what is it with you and your animals with allergies?
I don't know. So they gave me medicine for his ears and medicine for his allergies. My whole vet visit was only $140.
It's nice.
So that's why when you said $400, I was like, good Lord, what they do? Surgery?
Senior blood panel. Oh. They do the gamut because they're looking for anything.
Right.
So they're looking for cancer. They're looking for diabetes. And it was funny because she said, well, she could have diabetes. And I immediately thought of you.
Oh, no.
And I said, Stephanie, is it worth it?
I mean, I got a year out of my cat, but
but it sounds like it's not a great quality of life. Lots of shots and
yeah. I don't
know.
It's the problem is that if they get diagnosed and they're not ill and they just have it, then and you're putting them down and they're healthy otherwise.
That I don't want to. I told Daryl that I said, look, if she has diabetes, we have to have a family meeting.
Yeah,
because I need to tell you that I will do it, but giving her inoculations every day and having to move because their little skin gets sore is something that I'm not excited about, and nor will the cat be excited about. And for what?
Yeah, the needle was so teensy. I mean, it is literally like the smallest needle you've ever seen in your life. I don't want people's grief going, I had a diabetic pet. Everyone
for 4
does.
years.
Yeah, you know what? It's a lot of work. I don't know. It's definitely a very personal decision.
I know. That's why I said we'd have a family meeting about it. They're like, Mom, you cannot put her down if she has diabetes. I'm like, are you going to give her the shot twice a day?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be me.
Right.
So, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it selfishly, like I don't want to give the cat shots, but I also don't want to have the cat see me and go running away because she's like, oh God, here she comes.
I used to do it with wet food. That was the way she would stand there and eat her wet food. And I did it. And I was so good at it after a while that it took 2 seconds. It was in and out, done.
Is that when you thought you could be a nurse?
No.
I could be a nurse.
I wanted to be a nurse.
You would have been a great nurse. You could still do it.
I think I could be a nurse, but I just can't get past the vomit and the
poop and
I can't.
The poop and the pee.
I know I couldn't do it.
There's probably a lot of diaper changing.
Oh, Jamie. I just can't.
You know what? The number one thing, one of the things, I don't know why I'm stuttering so much today, that I could not do that keeps me from nursing is catheters. I don't think I could do catheters.
There's a lot of things I don't think I could do.
I just, the discomfort that I'd be putting someone through,
yeah, I mean, nurses are a special breed of humans. They're
fucking amazing.
They are amazing.
I know way too many that are so good.
Yeah, they're all amazing.
And they're so tough. I mean, I have the toughness and I have the brains.
Yeah.
But what I don't have is I know this is going to hurt for a minute. Just a pinch. And I'm like, But
like any job, I think you get used to it.
Yeah, you probably do. But it's humans,
and I know you're right. But I think in nurses' minds, they're like, what I'm doing is going to help them.
And at the end of the day, you're going to be glad I did this.
And so, yeah, we have to get through this piece of it. But I'm going to, this is, whatever it is going to be better.
It's true. When my friend, she just graduated from nursing school and she was trying to find a job and she really wanted to get into neonatals. I think a lot of people do initially because they've had an experience. And so they're like, I want to help. I want to pay it forward, essentially.
I guess.
At least the people I knew.
Yeah. I mean, whatever their reason, I just couldn't do it because babies die in the NICU.
At the time, actually, very rarely, you'd be surprised. At the time, when she was looking for work, all she could find, there was a ton of opportunity in pediatric oncology.
Oh, for God's sake.
Because no one wants to do it.
Duh.
But she was like, shockingly, there's not as much death as you would think because children are so fucking strong.
They are.
And they really do bounce out of that stuff.
I can't even watch those St. Jude's commercials. Jerry changes them when they come on.
Oh, no, no.
He's like, oh my God. He's like, I'm so grateful for places like this. He's like, but I can't watch these commercials.
I know.
I'm like, because seeing these little babies that are ill.
It's very difficult.
It's so hard for me. Yeah. I'm like, I hate to see children suffering. There's nothing worse.
It's brutal. It's
brutal. And the parents are like shells of humans. I can't. They're not even, they're like, all I can do is breathe. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Because I'm in so much pain watching my child go through this.
It puts a lump in my throat immediately.
Honestly.
But anyway, so she goes, it was great because geriatric and pediatric, the extremes are where you find all the jobs right when you graduate.
Right.
And then when you have some experience, that's when you get to go to the places you really want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
But nurses are
medium-aged people are the ones that, they focus on a lot because, well, not they focus on, but because you can.
Well, it's a little cush.
That and there's such a variety
yes.
of different things that could be happening.
Yes. I found out that my general practitioner is getting ready to retire probably in the next few years.
That doesn't surprise me. He's ancient.
He's old. You know what, Stephanie? I was looking up. I'm going through my garage, and I remember I showed you that photo of your ex-husband with your daughter. I'll have to find it for you.
I texted him that picture.
What did he say?
Well, he didn't respond.
He goes, did I have a mullet?
No, he didn't respond. And so I was like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I texted him at the wrong time. Sure. He can't look at my text when his wife's around.
Oh,
so
okay.
If he saw it, he was probably like, oh,
even though you're co-parenting?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I kind of forgot about it. And then like 2 days later, he wrote me back and he's like, LOL, I'm sorry. I could not figure out who this was until I showed Lauren. And then she told me it was you. He's like, God, I'm ancient.
He didn't even recognize his own self?
He said he thought I was a crazy hacker. Like, how did they get this picture of me? And how are they sending it to me? I'm like, oh my God, you're an idiot.
It's your phone number.
Well, to be fair, I think I did change it.
Oh.
It's been 2 years since I changed my number, but it's not out of the ordinary if I hadn't texted him in 2 years.
You should have been like, dear Joel, this is you.
Well, I did put it. I didn't just send the picture. I said my sister found this in the garage.
So what do you think? It was some weird spam?
I guess he did. I just cracked up.
You weirdo. Like, that's you. That's your mullet.
Well, like, who would possess this photo that would hack you?
Anyway, so I'm in the garage and I'm going through a bunch of stuff and I'm trying to separate and pare down the shit that we have because we just have so much garbage.
Yeah.
And so it's been an ongoing project. And I found Mackenzie's, the fancy birth certificate they give you.
Right. And at the hospital?
Yeah, just the one. It's for, God forbid you want to frame it or whatever.
The one with their feet prints on them and stuff?
Yeah. It was one of those. So I found her baby book and I found the gift certificate, the gift certificate from the hospital.
Yeah.
Dr. Fong was the attending.
Shut up.
My doctor was the attending.
How weird is that?
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, so this takes me back. He goes, yeah, he's been doing a lot of assists in surgery at that hospital that I actually had her at. Uh-huh. And I said, yeah, I go, your front office said that they had to move a bunch of appointments because you're doing a lot of surgeries lately. You've been doing a lot of assisting. He goes, yeah, it's my retirement plan.
They probably make bank doing it.
He wants to do surgical and he wants to do surgical assist when he's done with his practice.
I wonder how much they make. They probably make a lot.
I mean,
we had a friend who was a doctor who did that.
Especially since you can literally he went from cesareans and deliveries to... He said he did a knee replacement, and I'm like, wow, that's fantastic.
Wow.
I mean, way to have a cool, basically you get to pick and choose when you want to assist. I mean, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
What a great way to go.
Lots and lots of money.
I would imagine.
And a little bit of work.
Yeah, it's to
them, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll go in and do a 2-hour surgery. No problem. And get 10 G's. Awesome.
I appreciate those people for not letting their education just go with them.
Oh God, yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, I didn't used to think about that stuff, and now I do. Because
I'm so appreciative.
Yeah, it's like people who continue to higher educate themselves.
Yeah.
They're the best. That's my
best.
OBGYN. That's why I love him.
So speaking of higher education.
He's cutting edge.
Hilaria Baldwin,
She's having another fucking child.
7.
Why? You know what? I know.
7.
When I read it, I'm like, why do I care if they have 100 kids?
They can afford it, but
I know they can afford it, but I'm just like, what the hell?
When women when women, because now we all have the right to choose for the most part.
That's right.
For most of us, anyway, unless you're in Texas. But for most women, it's a choice now on how many children you want to have in life.
Exactly.
7 is
not a
not
lot for anybody.
7 is a lifestyle. It is no longer just we have children. Now this is what I'm doing with my life.
I'm just having kids.
Forever.
Yeah.
Because 7 kids requires 70 years of, in totality, if you think about it. If you're raising a child to 18 and she's having one now and she's in her 40s.
Is she? I didn't even know how old she was.
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know.
Well, because, he's rich and old. And so,
he's in his 60s, which means he will be lucky to see this one hit 20.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Clearly.
He's like, you do what you want. We have lots of money. Go. If you want to have another fucking kid, have it. I'm not raising it.
I realize they're Irish.
And does that have to do with anything?
Well, they're probably Irish Catholics, so they probably don't use birth control.
Oh, God.
But she's not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And why do I care? Because it's all over social media.
No, I know.
That's why.
No, I know. I seriously.
Oh, my beautiful bride. And I'm like, shut up.
I had a reaction to it as well. And I'm like, why do I care? I don't know, but it's annoying. It's
annoying because you make us all watch it and look at it. Even when I don't follow you.
Well, the only reason why it's on social media is because it's an anomaly. Everyone's like, 7? What are you, Nick Cannon? The only reason why Nick Cannon's more interesting is because they're all with different women. Seriously? And everyone's like, Jesus, you're fucking a different model like every other day?
God.
And you're getting them all pregnant? To me, that is just gross.
It's excessive.
I'm like, your dick was bare in another woman's vagina 48 hours ago, and now you're in me.
It's like, wait till you see that baby shower. Oh, we're all happy. We love everybody. Now, I do know.
I'm just thinking, like, hygienic wise.
It's disgusting. But here's the deal. There are celebrities and very wealthy people who have a shit ton of kids. Eddie Murphy has like 10 children or 14 children, like some ungodly amount of kids, not from the same woman.
But it's not on social media.
No, it is not.
He's smart.
And he takes very good care of them and they love him. And I think that's amazing.
He's an actual dad to them.
But why Hilaria wants to put that shit all over social media?
Because it's her identity, apparently.
Is she an influencer?
Oh, God.
A multi-millionaire influencer in New York City?
Yeah, what not
I
to
don't
do.
know. Why is she so irritating?
I don't know. She just is, though. She is.
We don't have a nanny. This is my life. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I don't believe that for 1 minute that she does not have help.
My family is from España. She tried to fake an accent. Remember, she got called out.
She got these things are just huge. Did Dara wear these lately?
No,
because they're like falling off my head.
I'm so sorry.
They weren't last time. That's why
you want like a rubber band.
Whose big head was on these?
No one. It was you.
God, did my head grow?
No, maybe I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
On. We'll figure it out.
Stop
maybe I'll glue it or something.
No, these are nice. They're really nice. I love them.
They are nice, and there should be sound canceling, but we'll figure something out to keep them from splitting.
I'll actually buy some of my own.
No,
I don't think about it. I come here, I do the show. I'm like moving on with life.
Anyway, so yes, congratulations. Apparently, Hilaria and your
hilarious,
broad.
Hilaria. Yeah, I do remember when she tried to fake an accent.
I immediately looked at that. And
everybody was like, "What the hell?
Like, why? What is the point?"
She just wanted to have some legitimacy, like, to her ethnicity.
I don't. And then she got called out, which was even freaking funnier.
Well, yeah.
That is what made me laugh, is that she got called out. And I was just, and she's like, okay, fine. Well, my ancestry. But
you don't have an accent, bitch.
You've never, somebody goes, she grew up in fucking LA. Like, I knew her. I went to school with her in Jersey or something silly like that.
What a retard.
It made me laugh.
What was she before she married Alec?
Nothing.
Oh, she was just a nobody?
I think maybe she had.
Like, how did he meet her?
You know what? I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
She had to run in some kind of circle. He didn't run into her in the grocery store.
Maybe she was trying to get noted. Maybe she was an actress for a minute.
Or a model.
Yeah, you know what? I can look it up really quick. How did Hilaria, what a horrible name, and
I know, it's hilarious.
Meet?
Is it really Hilaria or is it Hilaria or some other?
Is it Hilaria? They met for the first time at a restaurant where he spotted her at the since closed restaurant, Pure Food and Wine. He'd been dining outside with a friend when he saw her.
Really?
I don't believe it.
She just got lucky and he's like, hey, how's it going? Do you know who I am? Want to go on a date?
Okay. Oh, it's straight out. It's straight out of a romantic comedy.
What?
That's what they said. It was a chance meeting in 2011 on an unseasonably warm February evening.
That's why she keeps having kids.
8 years later, they have welcomed 4 children, 2 dogs, and a seemingly happy life together. What's that supposed to mean?
Because are you reading like Hollywood Life or something?
I don't know what this is. They met in Manhattan.
And that's why she
was a yoga instructor.
Okay, so she's having kids because he's going to have so many children with her that he's never going to get away. It would be, and they probably don't have a prenup.
Oh,
and so she's like, that's right. Even if you do divorce me, I'm going to get so much child support.
It is strange that he's having another child. Like, do they think it's like the presidency where it's like, we just need a wedding or a baby to get everybody's minds off of it?
Maybe.
That nobody cares.
But nobody cares. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, that whole situation was so tragic you know what? That's what I hate about situations like that is so much focuses on him.
Yeah.
And what did he do or didn't do?
What about the woman?
But no one's talking about this poor woman who was married and had a family and
small
everything.
Family, young.
Yes, that's dead. It's like, what about her?
I know, it's horrible.
It's terrible.
There was something else that I was going to talk to you about entertainment wise, but I cannot find it because I have an old outline here and my new outline is downstairs on the computer, but it's okay.
Well, Will got banned for 10 years from the academies. You saw that, right?
Yeah. You know what? I wasn't going to mention that, but yes,
that just happened yesterday.
And I said, he's the most grounded actor in the world.
I mean,
alive. You're on suspension. You're grounded, young man. But I mean, what does it matter? I mean,
it doesn't
honestly,
matter.
It doesn't do anything. He's still going to work, you know.
He might take a break.
I was going to tell you that King Richard was on HBO this last weekend.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Which is the movie that he won for. And I'm like, oh, so it was like the last 30 or 40 minutes. I didn't watch the entire thing, but I started watching it. I can see why he won. It's very good. And first of all, I have such a soft spot for the Williams sisters. I have loved them since the day I knew about them.
I don't know what this movie is about.
It's about Venus and Serena Williams and how they came up. And it's about their father and how he's responsible for protecting them through the gauntlet of demands that people were trying to make them famous way before they were ready. And he protected them through that. And so like there's a scene where she decides to go straight from juniors to pro. She's 14. This is Venus. Venus became pro first.
Okay.
And so she's sitting in a hotel room getting ready to compete for the first time as a professional at 14. She's considered a prodigy already, but no one on the world stand knows her yet.
Right.
Nike comes in and into their room and he's like, and her coach is there with the dad. And he said, I will let you compete. Well, before that, he said, I'll let you compete in the pros, but you are on your own. I cannot protect you once you go pro, really, when it comes to all the shit you're going to go through.
Right.
And they did, by the way, go through a lot of racist shit when they went pro. And they were 14. I mean, she was so young.
Yeah.
Nike comes in and says, we don't even need to see you. We're going to give you $3 million. We're going to contribute to your special need, whatever special organizations that you want to support. We're going to literally build your brand, but you will be exclusive with Nike. And we want you now off the table. We don't want anybody else to offer you anything. Sign this contract. So her dad had been teaching her about things like that because he said sponsorships are going to come. You watch. So she sat down and she's like, they're like, well, what do you think? And he was like, well, you need to convince Venus, not us.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you think? And she's like, I've been always taught never to take the first offer.
Good for her.
She was 14. So he left. He goes, if I walk out this door, this deal does not exist. And she's like, all right.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
It was really good. So it's like, I watched it and I'm like, okay, I can see why he won this award.
Yeah.
He looked like Will Smith, but I mean, he
always does.
He really changed the way he talked, walked, looked, everything. And
he's gotten so much better as an actor.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's really evolved in how he has.
And so, like I said last time when we talked about this, I am all for people having a path to redemption. I was just listening to a podcast about quote unquote cancel culture. And they're like, it was interesting because this was a person who had been canceled for something he said. It was a comedian. And he said, people say, oh, cancel culture isn't real. And I don't think that's true. I think cancel culture is absolutely real because people take away opportunities because other people have said you're a bad person, you can't say that, blah, blah, blah. He goes, it's terrifying because you lose money, you lose opportunity, and then you also get death threats, and you're all of a sudden you're at risk of being hurt physically when you go out and about, depending on what you had done or said.
Right.
And so he's like, it exists. It shouldn't exist. Yeah. I don't believe it should exist is I guess my point, but it does exist. I don't think Will Smith is getting canceled in any way whatsoever. And if he does lose projects, I mean,
I think most people I don't know about most people. I think everybody thought what he did was bad, but I found more people reactive to what the rest of what everybody didn't do.
Yes.
The applause.
Oh my God, Stephanie.
The
so disgusting.
Not removing him, allowing, the speech, all of that. Like,
it was really disgusting.
Was so shallow. Yeah. And so chicken. It was like, that was more offensive to me.
Oh yeah.
Than what he did.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely.
So yeah, I agree. But I had never seen the movie Hitch before, and I watched it yesterday.
I love that movie.
And I was like, God, I love this movie so bad.
Well, I like Kevin. I like Kevin James.
Oh my God. So much. I love him too. As a matter of fact, that's what caught my attention, just because it was on. Bravo's been playing movies all weekend, and they've been playing good movies all weekend. So I was in my room putting around, and all of a sudden I looked up and I'm like, hey, that's Kevin James. And he was doing something funny.
It's a good movie.
And so it was when Will was teaching him how to dance.
Yeah.
That scene.
Yes.
And he was trying to
Don't ever do that again. He's trying to
and they had Usher on. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
And he was doing his dance. I was freaking busting up. I'm like, what is this? So I ended up watching the movie, and I'm like, this movie's hilarious.
It's a great movie.
And never once did it cross my mind that I was watching Will Smith and that I hated him. I'm like, I still love him. I don't hate him.
I don't hate him.
I love him.
He did a really dumb thing. He did a horrible thing. But you know what? We have been alive long enough to know we know what the Trail of Tears looks like, and we know what's going to happen, and he's going to get a standing O in a decade, which is so fucking dumb. I just will be so annoyed, but I'll be really old by then, and I won't care. So
right.
I'll be like, I didn't even
who knows what's going to happen between now and then? Yeah, who knows what's going to happen between now and then?
Life is so cyclical, though. I mean, fucking jellies are back in style. I'm like, really?
Are they?
Yes.
You know what? They tried this once before. Stop it. It's not going to work.
Okay, this is what they're trying to make happen right now. Thin eyebrows, jellies, and lowrider jeans. I swear to God, I am not going.
Lowrider jeans?
You know, the ones that
I know what they are. I could never wear them now.
No one could wear them back then unless you were Christina Aguilera.
I know.
Like, they were so tiny. I saw Britney Spears' Instagram, and she had on these they were below her hip line. They were the crotch to the top of the jean was like 3 inches.
I know.
And I said, I swear to God, if this Instagram post makes ultra lowriders come back, I'm going to lose my shit, because I couldn't wear them then because I have a big ass.
No. Yeah.
And I couldn't wear them now because I'm old as hell, and I would look like
ridiculous.
I thought we were embracing fupas. What happened? Why are we doing this? I thought we were like, oh, women have fupas. I'm like, yeah, know. Can we just go back to that?
Well, I mean, we need to not compare ourselves to the likes of Britney Spears on anything.
Well,
her body is amazing.
And it's gotten better in the last few months.
It has. She's even said that. She's like, I love working out. Like, she loves it.
She's getting her endorphins, and she just looks so freaking good. And I'm just
amazing.
I can't wait to see the dress that Versace's making for her.
Oh my God.
I just cannot wait.
I wonder if she's going to have a really public wedding.
I hope so.
I mean, if she wants to, but
she talked just the other day about how she actually drove herself to get a Slurpee or something.
I know.
I'm like,
it was so cute.
This is how confined this poor girl was. Like, everybody's making fun of her her Instagrams, and I'm like, this is a woman who is still trying to realize that she's free.
And not only that, I think she's going to have serious PTSD.
She does have serious.
She's going to have it, yeah, for a while.
And
I hope she's treating that. I hope she doesn't just. I mean, maybe she doesn't do it right now, or whatever. But
I think behind the scenes, she talked about her attorney the other day, and I really think that we are completely unaware of how much legal shit is going down right now. Like, she is technically free, but her money may not be. I know she has her own accountant, and I know that she has free reign to do what she wants. But the reality is,
there's a lot of cleaning up to do.
There are a lot of tendrils that were tangled up, and you can't just summarily cut it off.
No, I agree.
because
there was contracts involved.
Well, they want to,
obligations.
Freaking her own mother wants her to pay for her attorney's fees. It's
Why?
like $600,000 in attorney's fees.
And what the hell does she need an attorney for that costs almost $1 million? For
Nothing.
what?
There was so much incremental spending. Brittany's going to be richer than she ever was before.
I hope
I have never wanted a celebrity to have more success in my life.
Me too.
Than Brittany.
Yeah.
And I grew up with her, though. We grew up with her.
Well, yeah. She's just been through hell and back. She deserves whatever she has.
And we understand oppressive parenting. And this is to the umpteenth degree. I mean, they're going to make a movie about this. She's writing a book.
I know. I love it.
I can't wait. I'm going to consume all things Brittany when it's all hers.
I can't wait for her. I hope she gets a residency again. I would love that.
Anything. Or tour.
Well, yeah.
Anything. I would
tour
support.
Would be great.
I would literally support anything. All right. So do you have an ugly and awkward moment? I do.
Good. Go.
Okay. So you were here. You saw. We're doing quote unquote spring cleaning. We're doing a lot of things that we've been putting off. So we went to Home Depot and I bought a bunch of lavender bushes for the backyard. We're doing this one side.
Yes, your husband showed me one day when you were on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I went and wandered out in the backyard. And he showed me where the blank spots were for the lavender.
Right. So we went. We went.
Like, love.
We bought some lattice. We bought all this lavender. We bought some bark. All this crap. Well, we were loading it all up into Daryl's truck. What? Because I burped?
Well, I just know because because anything that you're doing something physical,
right? So we're
going to lead to something awkward.
We're loading all this. I'm not loading anything. Daryl's loading all this stuff up. I
thought you were helping,
but my helping was we had one of those big heavy metal push things that Home Depot has,
the little flatbeds.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take this back up.
Oh.
So I push it. First of all, they're not easy to push.
No,
they're weird.
They're wobbly.
Yeah, why are they like that?
Because the little wheels spin around.
They're uneven for a reason, I assume.
Who knows?
So I push it up.
People beat the shit out of those things at Home Depot. You know what I mean? And Home Depot's not quick to replace them.
So I'm pushing up. We're by the garden section. So it's one of those big flatbed things. There's nowhere really to place it like a grocery store cart. So you just need to find a place where
close to the building that somebody else can get it.
Someone will grab it and take it. So I'm pushing it and I see, I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll put it in between these plants and this section. And in between is a display cart that was empty. But I'm like, well, I'll just maneuver around it. Well, I did maneuver around it. And it was so heavy that I smacked it really hard. It went psh, like that. And I'm like, oops, oh, well. And so I'm like, sorry. And of course, there's a woman waiting for her husband. And she's like, sunglasses on, like, I hate my life. I can't wait to get out of this place. Like, she had that face.
Right.
She's like, I hate it here. And so I basically did a fender bender with this cart. I'm like, oops. Well, the cart, which isn't meant to be moved, decides to start rolling. And I'm like, oh no. And it just takes out like 4 trees.
Oh no.
Planted trees. And I'm like, my bad. And I'm trying to make a joke, but no one is impressed.
No, everyone's like, you idiot.
So I left everything and I said, well, I think my work is done for the day. And I walked back to the truck. No one paid me any mind, but I mean, they have cameras and stuff.
I mean, they do,
like, look at this idiot.
Believe me, this is not the first thing that has happened at a Home Depot. That's why no one looked and cared. They're like, whatever.
Seen worse. I've seen far worse.
I've seen people take out, the corner of the oranges and they all go on the floor at like the store or whatever. What do you do? You're like, I
do you need assistance?
You try to pick them up. You're like, yeah, kind of like didn't you do that? That was another one of your ugly and awkward.
A long time ago, I was at Thrifty.
No. You told me about Costco.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you picked up a basket by the handle and something when they went everywhere. And I don't remember what they were.
I picked up grapes by the handle.
That's what it was.
And it wasn't a handle. It was just the cardboard wrapping it around to keep it closed. Right. And I picked it up thinking it was handled and it broke immediately and grapes just went everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
And no one even...
They didn't even bat an eye. Yeah.
No, they're just like dumb.
Yeah.
Pick them up. I'm like, I'll buy these. And Joe's like, you will not buy these. He goes, they'll just throw them away. And I'm like, that's a waste of food. He goes, someone will eat them.
That whole saying of like, break it, you buy it. That's bullshit anyway. No one ever buys anything they break.
I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Anyway, so no awkward moment for you?
No. Okay. It was I worked 50 hours this week. So I was really not in a position to do anything awkward.
Lucky. That's good for
Other
you.
than I had to eat in front of somebody that I don't normally eat in front of, and that's always awkward.
You know what? I hate that.
It was a business lunch.
So did you order something that wouldn't get stuck in your teeth?
I was trying.
That is a tricky thing.
I know. Well, we went to Chipotle.
So did you get? You can't get barbecue.
I got a burrito bowl, which I always get.
Oh, a bowl is good.
Yeah,
because you can't get a salad.
But for some reason, and so the person that I was having the business lunch with was behind me and had never been to Chipotle before. So I probably would have chosen something different had I known that. But you know, when you're throwing things out there like what's close, because we had a meeting afterwards. And what's close to the building where we're having the meeting, and I just threw it out there, and that's what they picked. So
there you go.
I didn't know. So they get the bowl, I get the bowl. We go outside, we're sitting down, we're starting talking about business, and I look over and I realize their bowl is like there's nothing in it.
Oh,
it's literally like a little bit of rice and a little bit of meat, and that's it.
Are they allergic to something?
I didn't know, but this person's big. It's a bulky dude. Like he's a big man. Like he's like works out.
I'm on keto, so.
Well, I mean, he could get the plant-based shit, whatever, you know. I mean, but
did you ask?
No, I mean, it's not somebody I've had lunch with like a million times.
And you've got like sour cream and guac,
everything. Everything.
Like, anyway,
so he's like, I'm going to eat fast so I can ask you questions, because we were prepping for the walkthrough. We were getting ready to go, and I'm like, no problem. So now I'm like, and of course I'm ravenous because I've been working all day and I haven't had a crumb in my mouth, you know, and it's like 1:00, and I'm like, well, I guess you're going to starve today, and it's a good thing you didn't pay for this $10 bowl.
God.
So I'm like eating the lettuce and whatever that's in it,
trying really hard not to look like I'm starving.
I hated it. Yeah, and he did eat his whole, 3 ounces of rice and meat in 2 seconds.
You know what? I'd be like, please spare me your example, okay?
No, it wasn't purposeful.
No, I know, but it might have been. He's like, I've got to be really rigid because...
No. I think it was all business, and he probably wasn't even hungry, but he was having a business lunch with me, so the food was like, okay, we have to do this part of it.
Yeah.
Which in my mind, I'm like, just tell me, like, we don't have to have
honest.
We don't have to have lunch. It's really okay if you want to say like, hey, let's meet after lunch and have like a quick 30-minute meeting before we do the walkthrough.
That would have been ideal. So you could have just went.
Exactly. Then I would have inhaled at my desk and been like, okay, I got to go downstairs.
Yeah.
No onions. Cleaning up myself and gone to the meeting. Can I have a Mento? So I learned a valuable lesson that day, because I'm like, you know what? I'm never having lunch with John again.
Thank God. Like, okay, John.
Unless we're going to like a barbecue joint, and you're getting the ribs, and I'm going to watch you eat them.
You get the rack of ribs. I'll have the salad.
Exactly.
God. Business lunches are hard.
They are. They're okay when they're with women, I guess. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
I went on a business lunch. This was 100 years ago, but I went on a business lunch when I was working for the agency that represented Wendy's, and we were at this lunch.
Never Wendy's.
Nope. Never had a Wendy's lunch, and I'm fine with it. Because they're like, this is all we eat. We taste everything all the time, so they want something nice. We were downtown. We were at probably like the Rio City Cafe. Something really cute and bright and fun.
Right.
We're walking, and I had all these binders, and I was walking, and this is when I realized that I can't wear mules.
Okay.
We're walking.
Jamie.
We're walking, and
it must be really awkward because you're still laughing all these years later.
Oh my God.
Mind you, it's been like, 15 or 20 years?
It's been like 15 years.
And she still remembers, like...
I was walking, and I thought I was... the second you think you're cool is when you're humbled, right?
Never
I'm walking at my little mules, and they're like, I don't know, like not even 2-inch heels, but,
And they're thick and they're chunky.
They're not... They were dressy, and they were cute. It kind of like, those Dior's that have the canvas strap?
Yes.
They look like that, but no canvas strap, and they were definitely not Dior. But anyway, so I'm walking, and we're like, la, 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 talking, that was a great meeting. It was with KCRA. It was with Channel 3, actually.
Oh, God.
So we're walking, and I lose footing.
Were you at River City Cafe?
We were in the parking garage getting ready to get back into the cars to go home.
Because I was like, to be fair, that's cobblestone.
No. We were in a cement flat, nothing.
Okay. There wasn't anything impeding your walk.
No, and I'm walking, and somehow I, God only knows how, I lose footing, so I fall.
There was a millimeter piece of gravel that you stepped on.
Some tiny little crack in the concrete. So I fall. I slip and I fall.
God.
So I fall forward. So the binders,
all your binders
slid out 20 feet in front of me. And then the thing that made me laugh the hardest.
Okay.
Oh my God. shoes. They flew off. Flew. In two different directions.
I can't laugh too hard. I'll cough.
In two different directions. And I mean, they catapulted.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I would die. So you're sprawled out on the ground
Like shoeless. Like a squirrel. And there's like 5 people.
and everybody comes running.
They're like, oh my
Are you
God.
okay?
All I saw was, sorry, all I saw was my boss with one shoe running through. And Stephanie, it was so embarrassing. I was dying. I wanted to die. And so what do? You make it fun. You're like, oh, I do this all the time. Right. You know, they're like, you do this all the time. And I'm like, they're like, did you have wine with lunch? I'm like, I didn't. And it was like,
Damn it.
oh my God, I wanted to die. It was horrifying.
Oh my God.
So now everybody's collecting my life, you know, off the floor.
Oh my God. I would have
Stephanie,
died.
to this day, it first of all, it was hilarious, obviously. I was laughing so hard.
Now.
But I just couldn't believe it.
I mean, believe
Like, I
it.
couldn't believe
Well, if
it.
it happened today, you'd be like, of course.
Oh, God.
Of course this happened. I mean, nothing would
God.
surprise me anymore.
And they're like, you really shouldn't wear these shoes. And I'm like, I will never wear these shoes.
Thanks for telling me now.
Thanks, Patricia. I'll never wear them again.
Were you with like journalists?
No, we were with
Or like just management or
no,
whatever?
we were just with management, and you know, because we were
Oh, thank
working out a
God.
deal. And you know, it's funny at that meeting, actually, not that it has anything to do with anything. They were like, so there's this new thing coming called HD.
Oh God.
And
so old.
and they're like, we're going to be the first station in Sacramento to have
high
it.
definition.
So we're going to have an HD channel instead of just regular. And
Right.
and I'm like, I go, Michael, we have to do this. This is amazing.
Right.
HD's going to be the next wave. And he's like, I'm going to wait and see what happens. And I'm like, okay. And of course, now
Right.
there's only HD.
Right.
It's insane. That's how long ago it was.
I know. But obviously, still funny.
Stephanie, it was the funniest thing
and
of my
still awkward.
life.
And I'll guarantee you those people have never forgotten that.
Oh, I'm sure I've been the banter.
It probably comes up.
It's probably like,
Remember that time that girl?
We're like, what do we do? Oh, you know what? Tell that story. Tell that story about that girl that fell and her shoes, like she literally imploded on
Did you know
impact.
she had a podcast now?
Oh, shit. I mean, just like party icebreaker.
Right.
Completely. They're like,
Oh
oh,
my
let me tell you about that
God.
time.
I would die.
Yeah, you know, like, they're like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. They're like, oh, you think you're embarrassed? Let me tell you about this time that I went to lunch with this agency. And the girl,
Right.
The promotions, the promotions
Oh my
person.
God.
Completely
And by
lost
the
her.
way, were you injured? Because
No.
a lot of times we blow it off, we laugh, and then we get in our car and you're like, I'm bleeding.
No, but you know
I've
what?
done that.
My knee was significantly swollen.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was swollen.
You're like,
'Cause I
I'm
landed.
fine, and then later on you're like, ow.
You're like, oh my God.
You
it
have ice
hurts.
on it.
Yeah, I did actually have a significant bruise on my knee after that.
But
'cause
we
I
always
landed
blow
on
it
my
off.
knee.
See, that's the thing about being awkward. You've had so many of those moments
Yes.
that you know how to react when it
Yes.
happens. And then later on you're licking your wounds. You're like,
oh, help me. I know.
we're done.
We're done.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye.
we're literally.
Oh, I thought you had another mic for me, so I could.
No.
Oh,
do
he
not
wants
have
to,
another
he wants
mic.
to crash our podcast.
No. Anyway, that's the show.
Easter weekend is coming, people.
Oh, yeah. God, I can't believe it.
Quack. So enjoy.
Oh, okay.
Wrong. That's crickets.
Bye.